Hey, what's up all you Instacart shoppers out there? I'm Chad the Gig Economist, and welcome to another episode of Instacart Tip of the Day and FAQs. In this episode, I'm going to discuss what to do if you discover undelivered items in your car. If you call Instacart and confess, they will inform the customer and refund them for the missing items. Just don't expect them to put you in contact with the customer and arrange a re-delivery. Once a delivery is marked complete, that's it. You can't contact them and they can't contact you. Additionally, I suspect that confessing a screw up like this to Instacart runs the risk of having some kind of internal strike, flag, or notation added to your account. Even though you think you're doing the right thing, if you do it too often, you'll be considered unreliable and at risk of deactivation. Your best bet is to return the missing items on your own, but even this involves some risk. Not all situations are created equal. There are many factors to consider before you decide what to do. If the time and distance are rather short, you should always make the effort to complete the delivery. If you're only a block or even a few miles down the road, turn around and go back. Chances are pretty good you can put the forgotten items with the rest of the order before the customer notices. You might have to ring the doorbell and explain the situation, but most customers will appreciate your honesty and dedication and let it slide. If you're performing a double or triple batch and the undelivered items are for one of the previous customers, you can still call or text them to make arrangements to re-deliver the missing stuff. If something small, inexpensive, or common gets left behind, you may as well keep it and say nothing. Smart customers should know things don't always go 100% perfect 100% of the time. Missing, damaged, and incorrect items are the risk you run when ordering groceries instead of shopping for them yourself. Thankfully, customers are able to report items as missing to get a refund and still rate their shopper 5 stars. That being said, if you forgot to deliver one significant or expensive item, for example, a floral bouquet or an expensive bottle of wine, they will notice and be much more upset than if a jar of mustard goes missing. When the time and distance are significantly long, deciding what to do becomes much more challenging. If several hours have passed and or you're 20 plus miles away, you're probably not going to be very motivated to deadhead all the way back if you're doing it on your own time. If your rating is high and your lowest forgiven rating is anything other than a 1, you can probably afford to skip making the return if a 1-star will be forgiven anyway. If and when you return to a customer's home, make sure you ring the doorbell and be prepared to do a little apologizing and maybe even some groveling to prevent them from pulling their tip or 1-starring you. Some people are too proud to do this, so they might leave the stuff on the customer's doorstep and let them figure it out. It's nice that the customer will eventually get their items, but they'll still be upset at the poor service and lack of apology. Therefore, if you're going to make the effort to return undelivered items, do it right and opt for a face-to-face handoff. If and when you realize you forgot to deliver something, don't panic. These things happen. Instacart knows this, which is why they have an entire section in the app dedicated to customers' claims of missing, damaged, and incorrect items. Just bear in mind that you can only play the oops card so many times. If multiple customers report items missing on a frequent basis, your account will probably be flagged for suspicious activity. Of course, the worst sin an Instacart shopper can commit is never delivering an order at all. Even a single claim of an undelivered order can be grounds for deactivation. There are unsavory customers out there that will say they never received their delivery, even if you hinted it to them and everything went well. Fortunately, these events are statistically rare and there are ways to defend yourself against these bogus claims. I'll talk about that in the next episode. Be sure to check out the other entries in the series to get answers to the most frequently asked questions about being an Instacart shopper, as well as life hacks you can use to make this job easier and more profitable. If you have a question about Instacart you'd like me to answer as a video like this, let me know in the comments below. As always, if you watch all the way to the end, you are awesome. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.